Welcome to Overwhelmed to Overcomer podcast with coach, encourager, and strategist Anna McLaughlin. If you're a Christian woman who has big dreams rooted in an even bigger God, but most days those dreams feel completely out of reach, trust me, I get it. As a homeschooling mama of 4, entrepreneur, investor, and all around wearer of many hats, I am right there with you. And yet, the Lord invites us to live out our God given purpose now in the midst of the madness. So, let's explore together how we can know our calling and walk in it today with clarity, with courage, with each other. It's time for you to live the life you love and love the life you live. Let's do this thing.
Happy Thanksgiving, my friend. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here. Whether you're listening to this now, months down the road, we're going to take a moment and we're going to land somewhere that I think we need to revisit at any time of year, but especially during this holiday season where we tend to spend a lot of time with our family and with some extended people and with some friends and with some circles, and it can just get a little big. One of my phrases from the Lord, and it started out just loving the song, but it's moved into a real reminder of how I need to show up and be present with the Lord and with other people, is the phrase, let it be. Just let it be. My children would probably say, if we had a nickel for every time mom said that to us. It's one of my favorite go-to phrases because it's just this reminder. It's okay. It's okay. I love the Beatles because my dad loved the Beatles. I had his records growing up. Their records, his records of their music growing up. And so, especially since his passing, it's one of the ways that I kind of revisit and just love him and love the things that he loved. And so, of course, you can't love the Beatles without, you might argue with me on this, but I would say you can't love the Beatles without loving the song Let It Be. Just that piano, the way it starts. We'll leave the theology aside, Mother Mary coming to you and all of that, and just lean into Let It Be. Just let it be what it is. There's a title to a book that I really love, and I don't know what the book says fully. I think it's Mel Robbins, Let Them. And this idea of, um, if people are going to be critical, if they're going to be rooted in fear, if they're going to be controlling, let them. And so that's my invitation to you this holiday season. It's my invitation to you whenever you're listening to this. Let them. Let it be, as I like to say. It's okay. It's okay. Sometimes I think we get a little too far ahead of ourselves. And I'll tell on myself on this one. There are family members that, I have been begging the Lord for their salvation, for their sanctification, for their growth for decades. And because holidays only come around once a year and because they're so salient, right? They're so memorable. I can start in these times to kind of turn the pages of the album and go, here we are, so many years into this thing and still nothing. And it looks so much like last year. And what if it always looks this way? And I can take what can be a very tender moment and extrapolate out fears going years into the future and go, what if this never changes? What if it's always this way? Right? We can have questions about, should we be together or should we take a break? There's some really hard interpersonal things going on. We've had years that have looked like that, those decisions. Just the question of too much or expectations. And what I'm going to invite you to, because what happens is it's not just us showing up with our expectations and our fears and our worries and our stories and our judgments and our questions, but each member of the fellowship, everybody that's coming together is doing the same thing, right? They've got their stories, they've got their people that they're missing that aren't going to be there, they've got their desires for what it's going to look like and their expectations, and the dishes have to look a certain way and the meal has to be prepared a certain way. And what do you mean there's no stuffing this year, right? As for you, just an invitation. If this phrase serves you or if you need another one, let it be. Look for the gift in this imperfect moment, right? What can I love about right now in all its glory and in all its imperfection? What can I love about them right now, just as they are? Hold the moment close. Now, for some, this is a little too heavy. My husband, it is not his favorite when I talk this way, but for me, I really need this because I can get so caught up in all the bits and pieces. There will come a year where you will need to look at pictures of your loved ones because they aren't there to be with anymore. And we don't get to know what year that's going to be. We don't get to know what's our last Thanksgiving picture with that person. And this is not to plant fear. Please hear me on this. This is not to plant any sort of like, uh-oh, you better toe the line because what if this is the last? But may we remember that we're finite and we're limited and we just don't always get the gift of another go. My my dad went through a really hard season right before he passed. And I came into town to visit, and my brother came into town before when my I came into town. Did I even say that right? Let me try again. I came into town to visit, my brother came into town, and my sister was in town. And on a whim, we decided to grab a family picture to do one of those like timers on the camera, not just the selfies, but actually like set up the phone and do a timer and take a picture of my dad with the three of us. We'd done that years before I was pregnant with my third born, so it was about 6 or 7 years prior. We'd taken like family pictures, and because we aren't all together very often, and because my dad's not really one to say let's grab a picture, like that's not his way. um we got this picture leaving the phone propped up on the back of his van and us standing in a friend's street. It wasn't even on the sidewalk. We were on the street to get the picture to work. It's it was the last. It was the last picture, and it was the last time that us three children were together with him. But I didn't know that. I remember thinking at the time, I really want to make sure I get this because with his health issues, that and because of my brain, and you're welcome. You're welcome for my brain. I just have always lived with a little bit of that sense of awareness that there are many moments that could be less. But what a gift to have it. And what a gift that that moment was marked by embraces and gratitude instead of parading out our differences, of which there were many. We just let it be. Let it be a sweet moment. And it's a picture that all three of us kids treasure. So, this is my invitation to you this Thanksgiving. As you're preparing, as you're running around, as you're doing all the things, just let it be. Turkey burns, let it be. Sometimes these are the best memories. These are the best moments to look back on. Do you remember when you so one of my early endeavors was when we first started having children was I decided, that was kind of the dawn of uh, my crunchy passion. And and so everything had to be made from scratch with real ingredients, preferably organic. And there was this kind of adage that my husband grabbed hold of as I would place some sort of concoction before him and he would try to choke it down and the children would refuse to eat it. It's not you, it's the ingredients, he would say. And it's become a family joke. It's not you, it's the ingredients. No matter what the thing is, the healthier it is, the more likely that line's about to be passed around. And so that Thanksgiving, as I was knee deep in homemaking everything, I made these chocolate balls that probably had black beans as their base and coconut sugar and coconut oil and who knows what else. They were fair, they were passable. And then I made this key lime pie that just about did everybody in who tried it. There was very little sweet. It was deeply sour. The crust was falling apart. And those were the desserts that were sitting at the Thanksgiving table. People still talk about that key lime pie a good 10 years later. Thank you very much for remembering, family. I so appreciate the reminder of my excellent culinary attempts. Right? It's not you, it's the ingredients. These can be the sweetest things if we will just let it be. If I get all caught up in my flesh and I don't want to hear it because I feel embarrassed or called out or ashamed, if I've got my pride on the line, we miss the story, right? Let it be. Be willing to be the butt of a joke this year. Be willing for those differences of opinion to be paraded out, right? And just play with, and this, I am not telling you to like be the punching bag or take abuse, be shamed and belittled. But what if when somebody's got a certain kind of something to say, rather than defending ourselves, we could just say, okay, Dad, thanks for the encouragement, right? When it's anything but that. All right, Aunt Martha, I appreciate the vote of confidence when it's anything but that. Can we just smile? Can we just let it roll off our backs? Let them be who they are. Let the moment be what it is. And here's the most important point, and this is why it matters. And can we count it as gift before the Father? Thank you for this imperfect moment. Help me love it because you gave it to me. Help me see in this moment all that you are and all that you've given. Help me see in this moment how you love me here, how this is grace for me. Listen, nobody's having a perfect Thanksgiving this year. Okay? You're not missing out. Be careful getting on social media and seeing everybody else's highlight reel, right? Let your moment be precious. Christ is not with you in someone else's Thanksgiving dinner. He's with you in your moment. He is I am. He is a present God, the present God, the fully present God. He is outside of space and time, but as far as our experience of him, as far as your unique experience of him, it lives where you are. Okay? He is with you where you are. So be all there. Be fully present. Be fully known. Be with the Father, living in his love, expressing gratitude to the Father of heavenly lights who does not change like shifting shadows. I think that's in James. Be fully there and let it be. I think about that hymn, whatever my lot, you have taught me to say, it is well with my soul. Okay? All right, friend. Happy Thanksgiving. Till next time, you got this because he's got you.
Friend, thank you so much for listening to this most recent episode of Overwhelmed to Overcomer. So listen, the whole idea behind this mission is that when we endeavor to be brave with our lives, we need to do it together. Belonging is key. So if you resonated with the message from this episode, share it with a friend. Do it together. Thank you again, and never forget, you've got this because he's got you.